Talking to you, Craig Hannum. Hell of a job on Monday, man. Monday was Veterans Day. Obviously, honor, salute the vets. Without them, we are not here. And Craig Hannum's a good buddy of mine. He's on Decades every other Tuesday with me. Does a great job. He actually lives out in the valley out here. He lives in Clarkson, Washington, and he was doing a veteran celebration at Lewiston High School. And I went out and saw him speak, and he did a great job. He's just one of those dudes that's a great dude. He's one of those guys that you meet him one time, and you could tell he's a good guy. And he's one of those guys that I've only met him like 3 or 4 times, but I guarantee I could call him at like midnight. Hey, man, I ran out of gas. I'm in Colfax. Come get me. And he'd be like, all right, you're an idiot. I'm coming right now. Have a coffee ready for me or something like that. Welcome back to episode 83 of the Rubio Method. We're live on X, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We'll be on iTunes and Spotify within 24 hours. We've had a great show so far, and it's just going to get better. Right now, we've got, what do we got? Working hard is not enough. Jenna, bring on Bill Geiser. I've been waiting to talk to Bill Geiser for like 4 months on this subject. Bill Geiser, legend. Bill Geiser, when I think of business, there's 2 people I used to always think about. I used to think about Bill Geiser, because Bill Geiser is the man, the myth, the legend that told me back in 2009, Rubio, there's this new thing. You got to get on this new thing called Twitter. And I'm like, what the hell's Twitter? Is that like a bird thing or something? He's like, just trust me. It's the next thing. It's Twitter. I'm telling you. And boom, you were just a step ahead on that one. And another one that I used to always think about was Mark Cuban. I see him on Shark Tank, and you'd think business guy, okay, Dallas Mavericks, tech stuff, doing all this. He's got the new medical thing, whatever. He's, self-made, well, billionaire at this point. But Bill, I've been trying to get you on for 4 months because this guy, and Angel says Craig is awesome. Yes, he is. Thanks for watching, Angel. What the hell's happened to him? I don't know how to make it any clearer, because Mark Cuban used to be like this beacon of business. And I've shared hundreds of texts with you about what's going on with Mark Cuban. Before you even start, well, thank you for coming on. Jenna, can you play video 6? Let's just get like an intro for it, because maybe a lot of people aren't as in tune with Mark Cuban as you and I are. This is Mark Cuban over the past 4 months. Now, I can show you hundreds of videos of this, but this is just a quick one. Video 6, Jenna.
Painting with Kamala Harris. How's it looking? Is she going to win?
I think so, for sure. I mean, when you go to one of her campaigns, she is just a dynamic speaker. I mean, the crowd is engaged. The energy is off the charts. I mean, if that's any indication, she's going to win easily.
So I've heard you say a couple times that she's not a good salesperson.
Right.
Isn't that important, not just in a campaign, but in being president?
Well, there's different types of salespeople, right? There are salespeople with lousy products that have to oversell. That's Donald Trump. Then there's other salespeople who may not be as boisterous and relentless, but know that they have a great product, so they don't have to be boisterous and relentless. That's Kamala Harris.
Okay, so Bill, let's just take his first statement. She's a dynamic speaker. Now, you could be a fan of Kamala. You could not be a fan of Kamala. I think there's one thing you can say is she's not a dynamic speaker. So, Bill, thank you for coming on the show. What happened to Mark Cuban?
Well, Mark Cuban is a prolific entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. I mean, he's a legend. Mm-hmm. I am a Mark Cuban fan. Have been for decades. He's from Dallas. That's where most of my businesses originated. And he's done it repeatedly. It started back in the probably late 70s with his first company called Micro Solutions. He sold that for $6 million. He rolled that into a company called AudioNet, which then rebranded itself as Broadcast.com. And he sold that for almost $6 billion. Then he took that, bought the Mavericks, won an NBA championship, increased the value of that. He started dozens of other businesses. He is a hardwired entrepreneur. And I think, and you know what, he's been consistently pretty liberal politically. If I'm not mistaken, he's pretty consistently Democratic. So I didn't see him switching sides or doing anything. He did go all in on Kamala. This is just my hypothesis.
Okay.
Is Mark Cuban, like I said, is a hardwired entrepreneur. he can't look at something without figuring out, how can I turn that into a business?
Oh,
And my guess is he saw an opportunity to pursue, number one, his consistently political side, being a Democrat, but to help her. Now, what that was, I don't know. Maybe it was to get a favorable handling of his cost plus drugs business. There were rumors that when he sold the Mavericks, it was, or the majority, he still has a minority ownership in it, it was to develop the real estate around there for gambling potentially. So I'm thinking it was a quid pro quo kind of thing. Is like, hey, let me help you get elected, and if you do, I will. This is my interest. I think it's all above board, all legitimate. I just think he, like when you're an entrepreneur, you're a risk taker.
yeah.
Not all risks pan out. This one didn't.
Yeah, because it's one of those where he, like you said, he went all in. I mean, to the point of like, it was over the top. And to me, it almost looked like he had a jealousy sort of thing with Elon, where it was like almost like a cockfight, where Elon was Team Trump, and then Cuban started to go towards Team Kamala, and he would kind of go off on Elon a couple of times. It's like, dude, this guy's kind of out of your league. This is the major leagues, and yeah, you're a big league player, but you're still at just AAA compared to Elon, because he at one point I think Cuban said, "Oh, I'll just buy this," and no, you won't. You can't buy Twitter. I mean, that's 44. Go ahead.
Well, it even goes back to Trump. If you remember, early in the development of The Apprentice, maybe after the first season, second season, Cuban produced a show called The Benefactor. And I think it lasted one season. And it was the same concept. You get, 7 or 8 regular people coming in, competing for something. And ultimately, he was the benefactor that would award them a lot of money at the end of the show. So I think he's had a rivalry with other people, which, hey, that's okay. This is America. We do these kinds of things. Like I said, I'm a fan of Mark Cuban. I just think he bet real heavy on Kamala, and it just didn't pan out. So he's kind of gone off, staying low level, but he'll be fine. He'll come back. I'm sure he'll do something big again.
Yeah, and now he's recently, I think over the last 2 days, has deleted all of his Kamala tweets, which had to have been. So he's obviously backpedaling, but the internet's forever. And speaking of his quote unquote, rivalry with El Trumpo, Jenna, do you have video 7? This is a very, very funny where he's trying to rip on Trump, but there's something kind of obvious within this video. Go ahead, Jenna.
His office in Trump Towers. And I'm like, this is cool, of course. And, he wants to talk to me about business. And I'm like, you know what, Donald, I'll help you all I can. He's getting DonaldTrump.com, and he wants to sell tchotchkes and merchandise. I guess some things never change. And so, so I'm in there trying to tell him about what you can and can't sell online and what works. And that was all fine and good. Met Ivanka. It was all really cool. But the one thing that left with me, if you've ever been or seen pictures of his office, every inch of his office is covered with pictures of him. Every single inch of the office.
What's it like meeting celebrities, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can come back to us, Jenna. For those that are on iTunes and Spotify, Cuban's saying, "Oh my God," about his office. Just every inch is covered with trophies about himself and pictures of himself. And what you can't see is that they've got these red squares on every single picture and trophy that Cuban has behind him of pictures of himself. It's like, hey, Pot, you can't call the kettle black when you do that. And it's your office. You should do that. But have some spatial awareness, right, Bill Geiser?
Like I said, the guy's competitive. He's aggressive. He's a really good sales guy. And he's just out there swinging away. That's what salespeople do.
Bill Geiser,
you just don't know. You just, as a sales guy, you just don't know if the fish are always going to bite.
Great point on that one. I want to bring up one more thing with you that's not on script, but I want to talk to you about it on camera. Donald Trump is just dropping the hammer with all these new picks. The only one I want to talk to you about is DOGE, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, headed up by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time a government department has been brought up to minimize the government. So what do you think about the Department of DOGE with these two guys at the helm?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I'm for the first time in I don't know how many decades, I am legitimately excited about the potential for this, because I think there is unbelievable waste in government. I read a statistic, I don't have the numbers down, but literally our GNP as a nation largely depends, or has depended over the last 4 years, probably even longer than that, on government hiring and spending. If it weren't for that, it'd be flat GNP, you know? And so we have created this massive bureaucracy. And I have no doubt that what's going to happen is we are going to have a smaller, more nimble, more responsive, less costly, more productive government. And that helps everybody.
And the fact of the matter,
and you know what's amazing too? I saw Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren. You know, she's taking pot shots at these guys, and I mean I kind of laughed. It was pretty clever. You know, it's like, oh, this is the Department of Efficiency, and it takes 2 guys to run it. That's not too efficient. But I was going to respond to her and say, well, keep in mind, one of those 2 guys already has, 4 full-time jobs?
Yeah.
SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and whatever, Boring Company. There's 4 full-time jobs Elon's doing in addition to this. So the fact that the U.S. government can get somebody like that really committed and involved. I mean, this guy is one of the great minds of our time, and I'm excited. I think this will. I think they'll encounter considerable pushback, and I think they will mow through this like a hot knife through butter.
Angel has a great comment. She says, finally, the government is going to balance the U.S. checkbook. Great perspective, Bill. That is 100%. And I've read that Elon, I think he's going to get paid $1 because he has to get paid. And so that's pretty efficient for me. And I'm assuming Vivek's probably, he's a billionaire as well, isn't he? And so I'm assuming he's probably not going to get paid a lot.
I don't think Vivek is a billionaire, but he's a very, very successful med tech guy, medical technology. Brilliant, articulate. What a tag team there. This is going to be exciting, and you know they're starting right now.
Oh, they're already starting, and even better, I think I sent you the post on it on X that Elon has already said they're going to have a website where everything is going to be transparent. Like literally, okay, I'm cutting Bill Geiser's fund. Here's why, because he has, he's looking at transgender chameleon studies with vodka. Like, okay, no one needs that. No one cares. All right. So we're cutting $80 billion off of that. So you can't even accuse them of like, oh my God, this is foul play, blah, blah, blah. Nope.
And my hypothesis is once this thing starts to gather steam, it'll then really start to snowball. And my guess is for many of the people in the government, I'm not talking about the higher ups, but just the people that show up every day for their job. A lot of them are going to lose their jobs, but those that stay are going to see an incentive system similar to incentive systems in business, which is the better we do, the better you do. Let them share in the rewards.
Yeah, man.
Let's make it an incentive-based compensation system, and let's align everybody's goals. I just think there's going to be so much great productivity and efficiency from this. I think Trump said He wants to have the first real milestone in a year and a half, which correlates to the 250th anniversary of the U.S.,
And you know,
which I think
Trump
is a really interesting milestone to shoot for. But they'll go beyond that too.
100%. Bill Geiser, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for everything. Where can people find you if they want to find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Bill G.
Bill G, one of the originals, got 5 letters on his Twitter handle. Damn you. Bill Geiser, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.